J-Long are here in the house. What's up, peoples? Got some juicy topics today. If we could find any positive spin, let's throw it out there. I actually do have one to the Hasbro Q4, believe it or not. But yeah, man. Oh, there we go. Mattcaster Corey.
How's it going?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Not too bad. Apparently my computer and this software does not like my camera.
Oh, all right. Well, you can change your logo if you want to mess around with that. Just hit the 3 little dots, and then you could pop your channel logo in there. It'd be kind of sick.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Yeah. We'd love to see your lovely mug, but hey, I get it. I gotta get my hair did, so I can't show my face yet. I'm sorry. Anywho, let's say hi to TCG dude sharing this lovely little clip with Core. Here you go.
Puffing on his pipe in his hobbit hole.
How you doing?
Right.
Hey, man. As every good hobbit should, puffing on the pipe in the hobbit hole.
That's right. That's right. All right, we got to do the PC one for you, but here you go, Hillbilly.
Hillbilly. I have an idea. Follow my lead.
Got on fire, got on fiddle. Sun's coming up. I got gribble. Life ain't nothing but a funny riddle. I like them Frank fried potatoes.
That's right. Oh yeah. And where are you? I just had you queued up to Tortoise. I swear it moves on me just to mess with me. Here you go. Super fast Tortoise.
Super fast.
That's right.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm hanging in there, brother. I'm trying to get amped up and ready for the cheers here in just a moment. I don't have one for you, Corey, but we'll just, I guess, what do you call it? Sans this one or something? I'm not exactly sure the terminology there, but I just freaking had it. Oh, man. Here we go. Come on. Wow, it is buried, dude. Oh, my God. I just had it. I'm like, oh, sweet. I can click that next. And then, nope.
It's an old clip, sir, but it checks out.
Right. Totally. There it is. So we don't have you yet. You guys, are you guys on YouTube now too, or?
Yeah, we're on YouTube now.
All right. Well, here's a little blessing for you. There you go. Nice. All right, let's say hi to some peeps in chat. There's TCG dude from earlier. L, welcome back, brother. How you doing? Thoth, good to see you, buddy. Hell yeah. Yeah, another expensive pack. That's another fun booster. Oh yeah, I like that. Slot 6 bent foil. All right. S90, good to see you, buddy. Brian Giles, big supporter last night. Oh my God, thank you so much for donating that. We now can do my dad's birthday dinner in style. So pretty awesome, dude. Very kind of you. And here's your clip.
Have no fear, students, because I am here.
That's right. All right, Justin Clement, what's up, dude? How you doing? If you're funny, Justin. All right, Juggalo Kev, what's up, brother? How you doing? All right. So yeah, what do we want to tackle first, man? I was hoping that we'd get some more business heads on, but they might come a little bit later. So, do you guys want to tackle this menu that the dad's gonna have? It's gonna be epic. Well, let's start with that. And thank you guys again,
sure,
Brian Giles, Michael Superbacker, Buying said donation. Thank you, TCG dude hopping in as well as Brandon, aka Local Taco, over at on Twitch channel. He usually watches that through Twitch, but there you go. So Dad's a big octopus freak, so we have to go top tier. You see all that, man?
A little calamari.
Yeah, calamari. There's squid on there, but he's all about that octopus. So I was like, all right, you get it, Dad. Hell
Oh
yeah.
man,
Definitely
I'm the
deserves it.
chef that failed the test. Then calling out the
Mhm.
wrong sea creature. What the hell?
No, you're good. I think they have fried calamari. It was just okay, but I don't know if that's a side thing we have to order. But yeah, that premium. I'm sure, even though it's on the website, it's probably more than that. But holy crap, it's gonna be epic. I'm like gonna starve myself. Sunday night? Just that way we can like get to business. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all you can eat, baby. Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Hell
Anywho, I know, right? Y'all, we should all go down in Korean barbecue. That'd be dope. Mm.
Korean
Oh, look at Tortoise looking all official. Good job, man. Declined 23% with growth in Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming segment, 7%. So, all right. And then more offset declines in the consumer products segment at minus 25%. Wow. The entertainment segment. Yeah. Well, they blew like, was it a couple billion to pick up all the, to pick up all of that failing media company. And they're still paying for it. They sold it off. Like, was it like 2 billion and they sold it off for 400 million. So like, those numbers make no sense to me because like I think I had all of like 2,000 in my hand at once. So that's the highest I've ever seen. Yeah. I think it still was at 51. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I had it up here before, but it disappeared naturally. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up one non-altered look at these Beyond boosters. So we're gonna see these in Assassin's Creed. I don't know why they had to do Assassin's Creed dirty like that, but it's the epilogue of the epilogue, as they so coined on. I always forget. Is it MTG Weekly or Weekly MTG? I always get it mixed up. But the Tuesday show they have on Twitch, and they put the video up on YouTube later. Sometimes they simulcast, but I don't know if they figured that out
Wizards official.
Yeah. Okay, where did it go though? Is the question. Oh my god. Yeah. So, what do you guys think of it? Well, I'm working on the picture. It'll come up here shortly, guys. Okay, I thought it was there.
What do we think
TCG,
of it
dude?
as an open question while you're trying to filter it out?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking. Where'd it go?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm about 30 minutes into this fresh Beyond booster info because I was listening to the Hasbro call and I didn't hear the info for that. But Broham, waffle skillet, salty fry.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually happy about this product, and you want to know why?
Because,
bro, there's been a Friday where I'm like, oh hey girl, I got the rent budgeted out, I got the gas money budgeted out, I got the smoke and the magic money budgeted out, and then check is short, and you can't buy that uply new price set booster box, play booster box. Oh no, all you can afford is $60 on some magic, bro. So give me that Beyond booster. Give me a Beyond booster, okay?
Yeah, if it was that cheap, if they repeat on it and they do the prices they're expecting people to pay, people are just gonna scoff and no go.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there's Bob. Hey, Bob.
Is that what they're going for? The Beyond booster?
They might. They haven't said yet. I think they're too scared, and that's why they're all like, "Oh, decline."
Decline.
Yeah. That's right. Prime. It was Prime here. Hey. Oh, Millmaster. What's up, brother? Hell yeah.
Millmaster.
Coach. Good to see you. Okay. Now, where did my stupid picture go? All right. Hillbilly. What do you think about it? I'm still working on the dang thing. Dang it, Bobby.
I'm not sure yet. I haven't heard much about it.
Okay. Come on. How about you, Tortoise?
So my brain right now is recycling what I watched off a couple news articles, because I watch actual official news clips to watch. It's not just some talking chat head. And the simile between the two is Hasbro is dropping the numbers harder than WotC is. And WotC is still showing up pretty good, comparably. But like so much of this, and as I dig into it, is like deep outside of what I think what some of these people are talking about on camera. Like you watch these YouTubers talking about what this means or what it means the stock is dropping and what's not. But my curiosity lies with what was said by the leader. I can't remember his name. The guy over the entire company was saying he's working on cost reduction.
Chris Cox?
Yeah, Chris Cox. So he's working on cost reduction measures to make a better turnout for 2024. And I'm like, well, you're making cost reduction measures, but the price of your product is not showing any improvement. And what are you promising to, like with this statement, what are you really promising to the investors?
See, that's just CEO talk for reasons of why they're cutting jobs, and they're going to cut the quality of the product. They're not going to change their prices any. They're going to keep running the same prices, but they're going to do cost-cutting measures through employee reduction and just crappier product. And we already see what the foils do now.
So with what you're saying, and not judging what you're saying from about you, but judging off what you're saying, are we assuming by saying what we're agreeing to that maybe when Hasbro tried growing too much and couldn't sustain the growth that they promised themselves, basically?
Yeah, basically. That happens quite often. And I don't see Wizards going away. If anything, if Hasbro has more issues, they might off Wizards to something else in order to maintain any cash that they can get.
Well, one thing I like to kind of pull back from the past of the show, and something Bob said, is what he considers like the black swan event of COVID and what lockdown is like. A lot of people purchased a product during that time period because everybody had that accessible money, and they just kind of took with it, tried going forward with it, and tried doing so much based off that little bit of a miracle measure, like a miracle moment for Wizards of the Coast, and they showed them a light of what the fan base has out there, but it doesn't show them the continuity of that continent. I can't say the word. Continuity. Yeah, the continuity of how things have been progressed any further. It was just a little bit. So maybe they drained the well too much. They came up with too many ideas with all the money they made in one spur moment. Tried reinvesting that money, made a bunch of bad decisions because maybe half of it was blind decisions based off that one moment of Wizards of the Coast happiness.
Real quick. Cheers, everyone, and hello, Bob. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm probably going to talk about the finances. I went through the quarterly report. I won't say with a fine-tooth comb. I do want to say I don't see the copium that others are smoking. Like if we go back through some of these numbers, one thing I wanted to point out that was kind of sneaky, and you really want to look at the quarterly report from 2022 versus the quarterly report from 2023. One of the things that I noticed that they didn't point out at all is that they included 7 more selling days in 2023 than in 2022. That was sort of, I'm like, oh, that's sort of a sneaky, shitty little thing to not point out.
Yeah.
They got a whole week more of selling. So they were only, people are saying that Magic was up 2%. So it was slightly up. But what I also want to point out is the banger year that they had. That's a full year counting for Lord of the Rings, right? That was supposed to be a massive year. The year prior, even with 7 days less, 2022, Magic was up 7% year over year. 2023, it was only up 2%. And actually, paper Magic was down. It was the digital that was up. In the last quarter, things were rougher, even though they had $200 million sales. It's not what people are pointing to. They're cherry picking the data. So one of the biggest numbers, if you look and scariest numbers for Hasbro, going back to the parent company, Hasbro itself, they lost almost $3 billion in assets. Like, let's forget about E1, right? E1 is the entertainment brand that they bought for $1.5 billion and sold for $400 million. That's a pure $1.1 billion loss, though it should be amortized over a few years, not just 1 year. But it doesn't account for all $3 billion in losses in assets. Additionally, one of the bad markers, and I pointed this out before, is goodwill. Goodwill is bad to have. Like, if you're counting that as part of your assets, goodwill is fugazi. It's fugazi. It's saying, oh, Magic's worth something because of its IP. Well, if people don't believe that, then it's not. It's not a tangible thing like a truck or a building. It's not a printing press. It's nothing. It's just imaginary, saying it's worthwhile because I said so. And
that makes sense.
Percentage of their goodwill for their total assets, that percentage actually went up. Right now, they did drop their short-term debt and their long-term debt. Probably a lot of the sales went to pay some of that off, and so that's the one positive thing that I did see, truly positive, because Magic going up, I think that train is slowing, and the numbers are showing that. I don't understand what Rudy was looking at, saying this is exactly what we need to see. As an investor, like purely an investor, that's not a very comforting thing. Now, I know it did uptick again, and I'm like, I don't understand it because the company looks horrible. They cut 30% of their workforce. They lost 1/3 of their assets. Their goodwill went up. All of these things are terrible. What's comical, and if you could scroll down to the you want to look for the words, it's the non-GAAP. If you look at the company overall, they're non-GAAP when you account for it. So GAAP, what GAAP or GAAP stands for, is generally accepted principles. Now, go down to the charts. Go down to the charts. It's in the charts, and you want to look at the company overall, and you want to
this
see
one or down before.
Well, this hold on. If you go back up to the goodwill, you'll see the goodwill there, right? That even though the goodwill went down, which was selling off something, but if you do the math, like, see that bottom line of total assets, that's not good. That on the left is 2023. To show shrinkage in a company's assets is terrible, right? And Rudy's trying to paint that as good as, oh, they sold off a lot of the crap that they had in their warehouses. The problem is that now they don't have stuff, right? Their company overall is worth almost 30% less than it was this time last year.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how that's supposed to be a good sign. Like, and if you go down
they can't be claiming that it's all just stuff in their warehouses. Their inventory is right there, only down by half, which doesn't account for everything.
And then Ollie's,
if you start like
toys,
comparing the numbers and applying analysis to it doesn't. That's not good, right? So you can see the long-term debt is down, but it's not down 1/3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how I'm seeing
there's
Hasbro as a whole is trimming the fat, bro.
There's the one shining thing up top, but as you see, it's almost negligible. The short-term borrowings to go down to nothing, that's good. You don't want short-term borrowings. That's bad. But really, it only accounts for $142 million. So in these big numbers that we're talking about, okay, while that's a positive, it doesn't make up for all of the rest of the numbers. But if you go down to where the non-GAAP is bad, because if generally, I think we're into it. If you go up a little bit, there you can see it right there. Go up a little bit, just a little bit, where it talks about GAAP. Is this where it talks about the GAAP? Because this is just quarterly, not the year. Anyways, it's the non-GAAP. I don't know exactly where it is in here, but let me just explain.
I'll scroll down further.
Well,
I'm not sure I'll be able to catch it.
Run back up to their liabilities, because if they cut that much of their workforce and their liabilities and stuff, accounts payable liabilities, that didn't go down by much.
It went down by like 20%, but they cut 30% of their workforce and got rid of so many of like cut the E1 brand. I get it. Yeah. In other words, not good. Like, it looks better because it's reduced, but you have to look overall. The big thing is that they've reduced their total value by almost a third.
Yeah, but Bob, will it be found?
Were found.
Sorry, just someone in the comment. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you can find it in here, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to explain the gap versus non-gap. So, and they grew like at a ridiculous. Oh, I think it said non-gap up there, gap and non-gap. I think it said like at the title bar up top. Anyway, so let me just explain what gap and non-gap. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
So you see where it says non-gap adjustments?
Yeah.
Okay, non-GAAP is non-generally accepted accounting principles, meaning interpret non-GAAP as creative math, stuff they don't have to prove how they got the numbers, right? If you look last year, their non-GAAP accounting was only $349.9 million. So for their accounting this year, it's like $1.148 billion is creative math.
Wow.
How do you
do
that?
That's not a good thing.
Sounds fishy.
Well, because they don't necessarily have to say how they got it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, because we said so, stock people.
The hopium numbers.
And people just don't pay any attention to that, because I didn't know what it meant, I don't know, a couple of years ago when I said, the non-GAAP. Also, their external net revenues were less year over year, significantly, down 23%. So, I mean, I don't know what Rudy's looking at that says this is what we need to see. This looks terrible to me. Like, as a prospectus, I would say this is awful. This is I want no part of this, and it really blows my mind that the stock didn't tumble much farther. Like, apparently there's a lot of Timmies out there looking at something that I'm not seeing here in the numbers, but this doesn't look good to me as an investor. And
yeah, that scary stuff.
So, I mean, a lot of people keep talking and they keep asking. The big question on everybody's lips is, will they sell this off? Will they sell off Wizards?
No,
personally, I don't think so. Like, just because you see that as a tangible asset. Let me ask you this: what do you think all the numbers would look like if they did sell off Wizards?
That'd be horrible.
The following year, might as well shutter the door.
Cash cow. They would go belly up at that point.
Absolutely.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I believe they'd go bankrupt.
If the Krusty Krab sold the grill and SpongeBob had nothing to cook, how would they make their money, sir? All right.
I mean, that's sort of the point. So I think they're much more likely to sell the company off as a whole, Hasbro, than they would be to split off Wizards. I can't imagine what scenario would have them split off the only thing that's at least in a somewhat positive direction. Actually, I disagree.
Universe that Wizards of the Coast bought themselves out of Hasbro, and they defended.
You're talking about buying Hasbro. They'd have to buy Hasbro, and there's no way they're going to leverage that. Plus, all of I guarantee you that Cynthia Williams, she has profit sharing, she has stock options. All the big people that make the decision whether or not they could sell off the company. Actually, it'd be the board that would sell off the company, but they all have stock options. They all have vested interest in it doing well. No, it'd be more of a hostile takeover situation, in my opinion, because it's not doing well, right? Hostile takeover is when you lose so much of your value and it's all in stock options and whatnot that somebody can step in and buy enough of the company to pressure a sale. But and understand, I'm not a big time investor. I'm not even close.
Post Malone goes for 101 ring and buys Hasbro.
Now, what do somebody it was a Solar God just said buy reserve list now. Actually, in my opinion, I believe all of these things are pushing WotC closer and closer to having to reprint the reserve list to get that last big infusion of cash before they would sell things off. I think that would be their last ditch move of get as much money as possible before the ship sinks, right? Take the last valuable thing off.
Not the big red button, bro.
And like I like people are like, oh no, they wouldn't do that because they wouldn't kill the game I love and have known and have an emotional investment in for 30 years.
Yeah.
But they absolutely would. Don't kid yourselves. Before these numbers go to zero, these are the numbers you care about going to zero, really. These numbers that we're looking at on the screen, these are the numbers that make Hasbro make the decisions that they're making. And if they make the decision to reprint the reserve list, WotC can't say, no, it'll kill our brand. Look, all their brands are absolutely swirling the toilet bowl at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're not going down without reprinting that reserve list, in my opinion.
I mean, can I just throw it out there? The idea, maybe it's a cold winter, guys. Maybe it's like, I don't know how much of what everybody heard what in the Hasbro call, but they did say that 2024 and 2025 for Wizards specifically is going to be flat to decline because they're going to be repaying the loader license. So cold winter, you know what I'm saying?
That doesn't even account. Like I could show you sealed products that have nothing to do with this, just draining, dropping. I was showing it behind the scenes to my team, my guys on my crew, and it was just product after product, card after card, just face planting, nosediving, and a lot of this is due to the reprinting. Right? You're gonna have a hard time convincing me that that's not what's happening with every product overall in aggregate for just purely Magic itself. It's not the economy shrinking. Do any of you have a 401k?
No.
If you do,
No.
How's it doing? Mine is crushing it. How about your bank accounts? Does anybody have some money sitting in a bank account?
No.
My crypto's up.
Okay, I was going to get there, but what I'm saying is, stock market's up. Interest, if you save money, is way up. House values way up. Crypto's up. So these people saying, "Oh, it's doing badly because of the economy." What? Paychecks are higher than ever. It's
things are good. It's a new year, man. We're off to the races, so to speak, as far as things moving along.
Oh, they've been going up for the last 10 months, more. And so it's a poor man's perspective to say things are bad. It's not. And I hate to say it, but poor men don't buy a lot of Magic cards. They don't move the needle. The people that have the money, they move the needle. And those people
Rudy
are not
even
moving the
kind of
needle
mentioned that in one of his recent videos.
What's that?
I said Rudy mentioned something like that in one of his recent
I'm not saying
videos.
to be mean or rude, but it's just the truth. Rich people drive the direction of where things go, and people with more money, not poor people that buy a pack here and there to crack it for an addiction. It's the people that buy cases and boxes and whatnot for pallets. That's
right.
That actually move the needle, and those are the people that are leaving, right? And that's why you're seeing box prices drop. That's why you're seeing case prices drop. Now, card prices dropping, yeah, that's much more like trading hands of the Timmies, but it's because they're just trying to instantly get, as soon as they crack a pack, get the price of their cards, because anybody knows long term as a collector, whatever you hold on to right now, it's dropping. There's virtually nothing, not even reserve list cards, that are holding long-term value. There are a few that are going up. Most are going down.
It's the EDH flavor of the week deck, so that's holding up a lot of the single prices. And there has been a surge of standard, so I'll give them that, Bob. There are stores, my local stores started doing more standard. I mean, this time last year there was no standard, so it's something. I'm just saying.
You have to offset that where you have a couple of stores doing a few more standard versus dozens of stores closing their doors.
Yeah, exactly.
And online retailers closing their doors. There's big things that people are just conveniently forgetting about, like Troll and Toad exiting the Magic scene.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, it's
how quickly we forget.
No, it's because people want to forget. They want to see the sunny side up, right? And I think that's where people really are doing themselves a disservice. And I would say that anything short term is like looking at numbers short term, looking at something going up or down short term. Like I love Magic. I don't love Magic 30. I believe in Magic 30, and it's down. below $1,000 for a box. I believe long term it'll do well. But I talk about this with Dual Brain behind the scenes, and I say, I'm not selling my collection. I'm not selling my stuff because I don't want to make a reaction. But even Lorcana, which you guys know I do love, I can't say what it's going to do for at least another 5 years. It could completely fail. So I really hate when people jump on, like, did you see Rudy's latest thing with, what is it? Something's not even out. What is it? The Fallout? Oh, Fallout to the moon, right? You guys look at the collector boxes for Warhammer 40K, the collector versions that went up to $1,000 that are now down to $450 or so.
Right, because the allocations were so low at opening.
Yeah. Have you looked at Commander Legends collector boxes down below 400? They're like 350, almost what they were at release. Like I could go on and on and on and on and on. Dominaria remastered at $105 a box a year later. They released at almost 200. Like we can keep going. Dominaria United collector boxes at 120.
For anybody trying to like host some drafts, there is some good prices out there.
Well, not just that, you know, collector boxes, secret layers are not doing as well as people say that they're doing. It's I'm telling you, it's people are cherry picking numbers. You need to look at a much broader smattering of products, cards, whatnot, and don't look at the ones you want to see. For every one that goes up, there's 10 that go down.
Yeah, I hear that.
And those numbers will start getting reflected here at year and next year. I'll be surprised if we're not in a worse place with these numbers, including Magic, next year. And they're excusing it already. They're already they're already foreshadowing Magic doing badly this year. And I think they know they've run out of steam.
Can I ask this question to everybody here? Do you think that Wizards and Magic as a whole is going to be just completely dead within the next 5 years? Or do you think that we can just ride out this storm?
God, I hate that question because define dead.
Yeah, because they could be still working and barely moving.
Let's say not supported by Hasbro Maine, but just supported locally, like let's say us as the community. Like it becomes a cult following instead of a corporate entity.
So more like the World of Warcraft situation where they have the players creating the cards, printing the cards, and you can just get them and print your own cards type situation.
You mean no longer being printed by WotC?
Yeah.
Not in the next year.
Probably. Yeah.
I would say that we're probably a good 5 to 10 years off from that. But if they don't change, I can't imagine how they'll be in business with Magic in 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's go ahead, DJ. Sorry.
Oh no. He was talking about Star Wars TCG and also with the TCG from WotC when they stopped doing that. Yeah. Anyway.
So what do you guys think would be the best way for them to recover from this?
I think Bob's the perfect person to answer that.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if I had a great answer for that, I would be an executive at WotC, first of all.
Exactly.
My opinion is look at what the core of the problem is, and that's that they've lost the trust of the people that supply the greatest amount of money, which are your collectors and investors. You have to somehow make it appealing enough for those people with deep pockets and big wallets to open up again. I would do a great number of things that would have short-term losses that don't look appealing, and that's the exact opposite of the mentality they have over there. Number one, I would stop selling through Walmart and Amazon, or at least limited to a great deal, and start focusing on your LGSs again to keep them bringing new people in, because Walmart and Amazon don't bring new blood into the game. Period. You need places that play it, that display it, that push it to people that would be buying it. That's a huge part of it. Now, I don't know what they would have to do to do that. I think that in order to reattract collectors, you have to stop the reprint train. You have to do it in a responsible way, like they had done for a long number of years. so that there is some potential when you open a pack that you can hold on to that card for 10, 15 years, and it will appreciate to whatever degree. I'm not saying it needs to be your investment strategy. It doesn't need to go from, open pack to, it's instantly worth 150. I think that what's damaging to that are these serialized cards where you have far fewer people getting hits. And it's just, it's true. Like, nobody is a collector of serialized cards. I'm sorry, you're just not. There's nobody that's going to invest that kind of money to get full sets of serialized cards. It's ridiculous. I think if you do that, if you have the collectors back involved in the mix, in the ecosystem, by having that potential of future growth with the cards as a collectability item, that will reattract some of the investors, like true investors. And people think of flippers as investors. They're not. Those are the vultures. People that just crack things and try to get an immediate profit, short-term turnaround, borrowing off of credit and leveraging to get things, to get short-term gains off of them. That's not healthy for the market. And that's kind of where we are. And it creates this environment where everybody who cracks something valuable thinks immediately, boy, I better sell it as fast as possible so that it doesn't tank before I have a chance to sell it.
It's like having the house party and then having to pick up all the plastic bottles to donate to pay for the damages.
Like the way I picture it in the future is in an LGS, you have people cracking their packs for a pre-release, and the dude cracks a $400 cards and goes, see ya, I got to go post this. So he can get his card posted and sell it before it loses value.
Well, I mean, you may be touching on a couple layers of Magic in that the culture has changed a little bit from just, an evolving game to a collectible to a quick flip. I mean, there's people out here going to Value Villages looking for Louis Vuitton bags and, premier hats and, oh gosh, I mean, personal story. Nintendo 64 is a very popular console amongst our generation, right? Well, Conker's Fur Day is one of the big ticket games. Bro, I bought that for $15 at a Goodwill one day and then posted it on Amazon for a cool $100 and sold it in like 6 hours. So like the chase of the flip, bro, like the hunt is real, and a lot of Magic players are after that, and it's really hard for Wizards to balance. The longevity of the game versus
let's not kid ourselves. You had a new regime change a few years ago with a very different mindset that didn't give a damn about the long-term health of the game. They wanted to have massive profit increase during a Black Swan event and just pump that as hard as they could, regardless of the long-term effects, so that it looked good under their tenure. Now,
everybody loves a good resume.
Well, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing. Like the senior leadership over there is new, right? During this hype pump, Black Swan, go, make rain, make hay while the sun is shining. And I would say, Millmaster makes a great point. 94 to 2019 was stable. It was slow, steady, like 5% year-over-year growth for Magic as a brand. And then it went up like 30% per year for the next 3 years, which is unsustainable growth. And they pumped into it to like what Tortoise was saying, like the Black Swan event, and then they just tried to, they tried to wheeze the juice. They tried to make as much as they could.
Wheeze the juice.
And they didn't think about the long term or didn't care. I would like to think that they're not so stupid that they couldn't imagine what they were doing is long term detrimental to the game, especially now that they almost have it's almost no Magic anymore. It's a Magic system now with different IPs. Everything they're pushing, everything that's hype, has nothing to do with Magic as we've known it for almost 30 years.
Yeah, it seems to me like they're just trying to jump on the Universes Beyond train, and they're wanting to get more sales and quick sales off of those. And I've talked about it quite often about product fatigue. We've got so much happening so quickly. I mean, we've got Fallout coming out, and we just got, Murders at Karloff Manor.
Not only are they not slowing down with the number of releases, which I think is harmful, the variety of releases and the variability in a collectible card game, like, in my opinion, they have almost completely destroyed the collectability. Like, it's just, what do you collect now? Ugh,
Right.
18 million variants at this point. And
it's like when I was talking about when they started pumping out forced collectability, where they're trying to make cards collectible so their product doesn't have to be. They're like, this card, this serialized card's collectible, so you can pull a collectible card get a card out of this pack that's not a collectible pack, really, because you can buy billions of packs but get collectible cards. And instead of all the cards being collectible like they used to be, because damn well back in the day there used to be a good price for commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics, for cards that came out and like maybe went down a couple months, and they were reprinting wasn't horrible here at this time, and people would go buy those packs because, one, they were collectible, and two, they were fun to open.
Yep.
But now, when you have a smorgasbord of the same thing on top of more of a smorgasbord of another thing, and it's just all cheesed in there with massive print runs that we know of, and so they start forcing collectability so they can excuse the overprinting of product.
Here's a quick exercise I'd like everybody to think about, because I haven't heard anyone anywhere talk about this, right? And this is sort of in that vein. Prior to 2019, what kind of packs were available?
Prior to 2019?
Booster box.
We had draft pack. Yeah.
And they had others.
So you're talking about packs or product? Because they had
packs.
Oh, they had draft packs. They had.
The premium foil was a one-off thing with the Shards of Alara block, and
like there was just a couple. Do you see how your brain's already short-circuiting? Going is draft packs, right?
Hey, I'm short-circuiting because
in the last 4 years, let's cover the different types of packs.
Oh my god!
That have different structures in them.
Oh, there's so many. And this new pack, I look at it and it's like, oh, so we get an extra foil?
Extra foil.
So now you got, if you're talking about when is it coming up? I don't remember. Was that the Assassin's Creed one?
Yeah, the Beyond boosters.
Oh, but hold on. So now you've got these. You have the prologue, the epilogue packs. You have collector packs. You have jumpstart packs. You have the
theme boosters.
They even stopped theme boosters. Even Jumpstart is supposedly no longer a thing, right? So you have Jumpstart packs. You have Commander packs from like Commander Legends. You have have the 2-card promo packs in Commander decks now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what packs do you even get? You have Oil Slick foil packs.
Showdown packs for the promos.
Right.
Okay, what I'm getting at is that they've even confused like what kind of packs am I trying to collect if you're trying to collect sealed.
Right. Bob, we should probably all get together somehow, do a fundraiser, and commission someone to do the state song that was it Wacko did from not Wacko, but the skinny tall guy from Animaniacs. And he sang the state song, but with booster packs instead.
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say we'd have a charity and all get together and kick you in the nuts.
Why do I want someone to kick me in the nuts?
So my point is that all this has to come home to roost. Meaning you can't take a successful formula. Especially Dual Brain should know this. He works with chemicals. You can't just take successful formulas, sprinkle in 18 billion changes, and expect it to magically and irrationally turn out well in the end. It needs to be thoughtful. It needs to be carefully cultivated. Not all these twisting the dials and turning the knobs and, well, let's just try this and see if it works. Oh, shit, it didn't work. And then expect it to be healthy at the end overall.
I like turning the dials.
Yeah.
You might like it while
They
you're doing it,
don't
but
fix it.
at the end, it'd be like you say the same thing unless you're laying there in the hospital with your heart monitor thing and the drip thing, and you shouldn't be touching those dials. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, I've said numerous times before, as a player, I like the reprints because that gives me accessibility to the cards.
Yep.
But on the collector side of it, yeah, it's bad for collecting.
It's not just bad for collecting. It's even, and I'm going to make this argument because people keep saying it. Most people that have been playing for a long period of time, they've been operating under the belief and the reality that when they would open cards, they didn't necessarily need to flip them right away. They would have things in their collection that you had a trade binder, and you were able to trade off so that you could offset or supplement your budget year over year. If you do that now, you're going to end up with a binder full of sad.
Oh yeah,
binder full of sad. Yeah,
or as my meme says, I have a binder full of disappoint.
Sure. And that's what I mean. On it, like spread that out over 40 million players or however many people actually play. That reliance on having something that was valued that helped them subsidize their gameplay is changed forever.
When it comes to the draft booster, I really feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Well, it's funny that you got rid of it. It's funny you say what you just did there, because they don't focus on play. They don't focus on play anymore. You got YouTube focusing on play. You got Twitch focusing on play. Sure, they host some events here, but when it comes to, let's say, the Goodwill, we don't get a lot of commercials anymore. We don't get a lot of sport. Like there's cards they're printing for in-house play that are pretty much crap. I've seen all the cards that they did for in-house play at local game stores. That's my opinion on them. They're taken away from the sport of the game, if I can call it a sport of a game. They're taken away from the sport of the game a lot, like the company, not the stores, because the stores are really try. And they're not focusing on the play. The thing that keeps people buying packs, that keeps people in the game, that keeps people invested outside the collector side of it, but for the people who invest in the playing side of it. It's like they really, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, but they really split the collector and player and drained both of them.
Yeah.
I can
agree with that.
Nobody's investing, but like
They're
everybody I know
formats.
personally that is the investor collector, and I lump the two together because people call me an investor, which I explained on your show, Tortoise, that's awfully bad if I don't have any intention of selling them. It's hard to invest that way.
Right.
But there's a blurry line. It's like we're not just all one thing, right? I am a player, I am a collector, I am an investor. If you want to put it that way. But they have certainly shut down the invest like that. I laugh when you say Magic is an investment at this point. As far as the collectability, that angers me. As far as a player, it scares me because, yes, agreed to your point. If they're leaning more into the Amazon side of things and just the numbers of pushing product and hype and gimmick, that doesn't bode well for play. I actually like the idea, whether it comes off well or not, because it's in a shitty set, with the clue. It's thinking laterally. It's thinking how to play the game differently. I agree to some extent. I don't know who that is. I can see D&D that said that the game's too old. Well, it wasn't too old for almost 30 years, but they do need to be exploring different ways to interact with it, maybe different formats. They need to be looking at that rather than constantly hitting. No, it was a comment up above that it's old and it's stale. Because eventually, all games are going to run into a problem. Video games do it, board games do it, and it is power creep, which is, other people are mumbling about bad sets. Power creep creates bad sets. Because if you create cards that are too powerful, games are over on turn 0 all the time, and all you have to do is roll a dice to see who wins.
Right, and I think that's what we're sitting at now in Modern is we got so much power creep on the cards that they banned 2 cards, and it broke the format even more than it was.
Well, and banning cards has the same effect of reprinting. They both do the same thing. If you look at the chart, you have to say, was it banned or did it get reprinted? If you look at it just dropping off a cliff. And so that's also unhealthy for the game overall to just constantly get into a banning mentality. But then you create a modern set where you're not adding new cards, right? You lock it down. You only play like 93, 94, right? But that's just rehashing things we've already done, places we've already been. I think, Plane Chase at least was an effort to try to create a different flavor of playing Magic. And I think they need to continue to do that. I think they need to put their minds towards alternate ways of playing Magic that are engaging and fun and sell new product without destroying what they already have.
Right.
Now, see, as my personal opinion, when I sat down before coming on with you guys, was I like the reprints because as a player, I got the cards. And, getting those one-off collectors, okay, cool. I pulled Invisible Ink and thought that was great. But I would rather not be able to get the cards easy and still have the game around than be able to get the cards.
Well, that's exactly the threat. I think you're piecing it together correctly, and I've said this ad nauseum, and that is that even for the people that are loving it, I think it is detrimental in killing the game, whether it's immediate. See, people see if it didn't die in this year, it actually still went up. Understand, there's a lot of people out there, and I think Dual Brain was talking about this. He's got a video coming up, I think on the 27th or 22nd, about Magic the Addiction. There's so many people, Prime, that buy packs because they just don't know what else to do. This is their hobby. It's what they've always done. If they stop, it's kind of like I played volleyball big time, played it like 40, 50 hours a week. My knees went bad. And when I had to stop, I was just looking around because I realized, it's what I was doing, not just as exercise, not just as a game, not just as a hobby, but all the friends that I had were all volleyball players, right? So all the socials I went to were wrapped around volleyball. So if you suddenly get cut off from your hobby, you're sitting there like an addict going, what do I do now?
Right. That makes sense.
You have to fill that time and that space and your money. And I think that's where we're at with Magic, that people aren't doing it because it's good, aren't doing it because it's healthy. They're doing it, quite frankly, because they don't really kind of know what else to do at the moment.
Well, it's very true, because like what I was talking about with the game stores and how Wizards doesn't really put an emphasis on game stores. Like I don't feel I feel kind of deprived from being able to go to the game store, but at the same time, I don't feel like there's a reason to really go to the game store when there's no support for it. Really, no heavy support for it. Because like one thing, like I want to like pin note a time frame is when Hasbro started selling on Amazon and basically the internet themselves really put a big pincushion in the game stores and just held them hostage, because now are people not only going to the internet for cards, but there's only certain products are being pushed on the internet. Now, then this is not like in incremental order of some sort, but like now you can get product cheaper than your game store can sell it for on the internet. And that's really hindering the growth of the game, I think, because the game store is what really grows the player base. Even the collectors and investors who love playing the game and going to the store, since there's no reason to go there anymore really much, and there's people who still go to the game stores, support them. But like since the attention from Wizards and Hasbro's moved away from it, it's been harder to keep a heart for it, if that makes sense.
No, and that's what I was saying earlier. You asked how I would fix things, and if you notice, that was the very first thing I addressed.
Oh yeah,
reestablishing trust is probably number 2, and there's many ways that they could reestablish trust. They could start providing print run numbers. Like how does providing print run numbers hurt the player base?
It doesn't.
Okay, so again, all it does is it makes us feel uncomfortable as really collectors and investors. If you don't know what the print run numbers are, it's hard to say, well, let me buy 5 extra boxes.
Right.
And Prime, what I was throwing you under the bus for was actually your own stream when you got your cards to finish off. I don't know whether it was Stronghold maybe. And at the end of the stream, you said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do about content because if I'm only opening old stuff, and I'm not opening new, I don't know what I'm going to do for content. Right. And I think that was the gist of it. If you roll back your video and watch that. But that's a perfect example of you just set it there almost probably subconsciously, and a lot of people don't even recognize it. I bet even you guys, that you're doing things more out of habit than out of hobby, right? That it's what you've created a passion for. It's what you've created a hobby for. It's what you've set aside your time, your money for. And if you cut that off, you're going to have just like an addiction, like cutting off your caffeine or quitting smoking or whatever it is, and there's that. And that's not just, the addicted players that like to gamble. It's like me, even with my collection, right? Where I'm used to adding to my collection. It's part of my pastime that I do, putting cards away and sorting and doing all that kind of stuff. So now I don't have that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so not a direct call out, but a direct call out.
What do you mean the Magic's taken out of Magic?
Yeah, no.
I'm trying to highlight James' comment, but I forgot. It's not my show.
Well, there actually is, James. If they start doing that, they lose access to other things like the promos that bring people in. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to bet you that many of them sell those promos online themselves to supplement the non or paper thin margins of Magic products at this point, right? There were so many stores that admitted that they were gross selling the Lorcana boxes at $400 a piece to supplement their Magic products. So they were selling a different game at scalper prices just so they could get an influx to cover the loss that they were suffering from Magic.
Well, also, like I remember a couple months ago, I was watching a video about a game store talking about how they get the product, and they're like, "We don't go through Wizards anymore. We just drop that off. We buy off the internet. Why buy through the allocations and stuff when we can get it cheaper over here? Why not?" So we just do that, and they basically buy their product online somewhere else other than the regular people.
And that gets the product, but it misses out on the special things when it's time to have special, and then they lose out on the business of the stores that are still giving out the promos and the special things. And
they gave that up because it's just like it was cheaper, and for this store in particular, it worked for them.
And this is my part. This is my point, that what built Magic, and let's make no bones about this. Local game stores built Magic, pure and simple.
Right.
Yep.
End of story. No argument. And they've completely turned their back on that entire ecosystem.
That's very true. I remember when Secret Layers first came out, and the first reaction from the LGS community was, "You can sell online now. You can sell outside of us now. Even though they probably have done stuff like that before, but like they're like selling singles on the secondary market where the LGS was the secondary market." That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like what's hitting me now through all these years or a couple of years I've been on the show is how much of this is hitting me now compared to how much it took me back then.
And I guess that's where I end up being on the shit end of the stick, that people poop all over my stuff because you're just a little bit ahead of the curve, right? and it's not that aren't I wonderful, and I get things wrong. Don't get me, look, I bought Dominaria United collector boxes because I thought it was going to be a thing, and now I see the folly in that. Double Masters 2022 was super stoked about. So I get things wrong, but I tend to get more things right than wrong. And because I'm fallible, I'm not panic selling my stuff off. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that I'm tightening up my spending so that I limit my exposure, as Rudy likes to put it, for the potential downside risk. And downside risk for me, let me explain that. It's not investment, folks. It's if I could buy Dominaria United now or Dominaria Remastered now. Alexa, shut up. If I could, let's look at the timeline of things that Dominaria Remastered, had I bought it at the hype time when everybody wanted it, right when it first came out, because it was hitting that tickle me button. Then I paid $200 a box. My exposure now buying it would be $105 a box, right? And since I didn't need to play it in the last year, I'm just stacking it for some future date. That's the risk for me. It feels bad to buy a product and just watch it absolutely faceplant. Whereas if you have a little bit of time and patience, which is what I recommend, I've never said stop buying Magic, but you need to be more thoughtful about your purchasing of Magic until the waters settle a bit. And right now, it's very rocky waters, if you ask me.
I can attest to what you're saying there. Just think about your purchases a little bit deeper. Honestly, like as a fan of Magic, I love Magic, and Hasbro has its company hoo-ha that it has to deal with, and we as consumers can take it how we want. Yeah, hoo-ha. But rethinking your approach to Magic. Like you were really banging that drum so hard last year, bro, and it kind of resonated with me very well, and I appreciate that. And I think that anybody here on the cast and anybody viewing should just like think about that. Let that sit for a minute.
So, and with rethinking Magic like that, and you talked earlier about the Clue game. I want to get, what are your guys' thoughts on their little Karlov the Karlov Manor type where you can get the sleeves for the MTG Arena if you did solved all the cases? What were you guys' thoughts on that?
I thought
it was cool they did a physical product. Yeah. So what they had is on the daily. Where were they posting that, Corey? I don't remember.
It was there's a lot of stuff on Reddit, but they had their own website for you to put it on there. Oh,
okay. So if you figured out the code or the puzzle or whatever, you would, I guess, submit, and then they actually had a payout for Arena, and at least there was a payout. So that's kind of cool.
Arena in digital cards that you can't ever trade or cash in.
Exactly. Yeah, it's something though, but yeah.
Right. It would
I
be
uninstalled
nifty.
Arena like 2 years ago. So
right, it would have been nifty if you got like a special promo physically for doing all the work.
Well, that's what I thought you guys were going to say and where you were going. I'd much rather have those pins that Dual Brain and I are the only people I know that invested in from the M30 events. Like that.
Yeah, I grabbed a couple, but yeah,
they don't. Yeah, you got the waffle, right, or the purple waffle.
I sent him the turtle. I still have the one from M30 with the Dockside Extortionist. And,
no, you had the.
Oh yeah, the blue waffle. Yes, yes.
At any rate, as far as like Arena, because they could just flip a switch and Arena's over.
Yep.
You got nothing. All your money invested in it gone.
Yep.
Like that's for a completely different class of people, if you ask me.
Well,
no, wait, no. Nana's telling me about it because I don't remember what it was, but it was a payout in Arena after you did all the things.
That's
I think you're right.
I said I didn't know, but yeah.
You got sleeves, 5,000 coins, some experience, stuff like that. I mean, of course,
5 levels of XP. Yeah.
Yeah, it's intangible type stuff, but the thing behind it was it was a new way to look at the game with the way they printed the cards. My thoughts behind it were you had to buy different physical products in order to complete it.
Yeah,
I actually find that scumbaggy, really.
Yeah.
Well, it is like look.
Hey, pay his money and get nothing in reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. The next time will be buy a pre-con, a booster box, and if you solve this puzzle, we'll give you digital waffles. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, if they did it the exact opposite, if they did it the exact opposite, that you spent money on Arena to get things, and you could get like not necessarily cards, but maybe even like an oversized card or sleeves or something tangible from playing an Arena, I would find that far more exciting.
That would be
than the reverse.
Like at that kind of point, if they started doing something like that, if you played Arena to get physical product like that, my wife would probably get annoyed at me asking for money now and then.
And they could do you could do like the cheesiest things that content creators do. Mugs, hats, T-shirts. Just like, come on, and that would be more enticing.
The closest thing they've done that I can attest to that they did is the Festival in a Box. That if you paid $40, beat an event, and won, they sent you a Festival in a Box. My friend Staysor did 3.
Go Kylan. Nice.
So
I mean, if what you're saying, and was that TMC, I do want them to think about different ways to interact rather than different ways to extract your money.
Right.
They need to create interest. right? Not hype. There's a big difference between interest and hype.
Now,
Right,
see, like my thing was if they created like the Clue game, if they created a kit that you would sit down and you could, you know, get your play group together and go through and solve the crime, then I would have purchased that and I would have sat down with my friends and played it. But I mean, doing all of this other stuff and happen to have multiple products, you had to have multiple pre-release packs. Because the color on the box, the pre-release box that you got on the inside was different in each pack. The sleeves were different, so you had to have multiples of everything. I wanted it all in one kit, kind of like those murder mysteries that you would you can buy and have, you know, do with your friends.
Well, I mean, I think it's at least thinking in the right direction. Like what I'll use a buzzword from corporate speak. That I think that Clue is directionally correct, right? So it means that they're thinking of it in different terms than it's not standard, it's not plane chase, it's not commander, it's not modern, it's not pioneer, it's a different way to engage with their product.
Right. And like
right now, what they would need to do is create something like Clue and have a new game system. Like I even think that what was that called? The Ixalan one? Like somebody's got to remember what that is. The board game Ixalan, where they had the little tokens and shit that you flipped over.
I actually
Explorers
own that
of Ixalan.
one. I actually own
Explorers
that
of
one.
Ixalan, I think.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, remember they had that board game too.
It was the Heroes.
Well,
whatever that
that's
one
totally
was.
different though. That didn't interact with Magic products.
Well, you know,
yeah.
Well, you know,
that was just a Magic skinned board game. It wasn't. You didn't get to use your cards. What they need to do is come up with a way, like with the Explorers of Ixalan, like with Plane Chase.
Yeah, there it is.
Sorry?
Oh no, I was literally saying it with you, Explorers of Ixalan. You nailed it.
But they need to come up with things like Clue, like Plane Chase, like Explorers of Ixalan. You know, different ways. Even what was it, To Kill a God, and the other one where it's kind of like Commander Raids. They had a deck that you did in the Theros block.
The Arch Nemesis,
the Hydra, like to kill a god and defeat the Hydra.
Yeah, I never got that one.
But what
one
I'm
of the
saying
gods
is,
or whatever.
those are the things. Even if they experiment and don't succeed, they need to be thinking in those terms to where you can use your cards to interact with different flavors of Magic, a la Emperor, or just so many different ways. I'm not smart enough. I'm not a game designer. We tried our best with Commander Raids, and I think it's decent. But they're game designers. They should be coming up with Commander Raids, not me.
You know what they should do?
Yeah.
Bob, have you ever played Century Spice Road?
No.
Oh my lord! If you did, you would understand this. If they made a system where you used the Spice system in Century Spice Road for your Magic cards and worked in the same mechanics, that would be clever. Just change the spices to match the color of Magic cards. Yeah, if you haven't played Century Spice Roads, check it out. It might be up your alley.
I think you're starting to think in the terms that I'm trying to explain, though, that there are different ways that you could use Magic that are fresh. You don't need power creep, right? You need a different avenue to use the cards that you have or cards that you're going to add, and then broaden that into a wonderful plethora of ways to use the cards that you have that don't just sit in binders or get put into slabs.
Listen here, if you give me a Tiger Electronics Magic, I'm not gonna be happy. Okay, bro.
Oh, really? Yeah, like the old school. You scan a CD to get a monster or uncrack a monster or Monster Hunter.
You don't want a Jace Tamagotchi TCG, dude?
No, Jace Tamagotchi.
I'm just saying they're
not horrible though.
They're a game company with lots of different game designers. They should be I love Coach's quote, and I don't have it exact, so forgive me, Coach. I'm going to paraphrase. We shouldn't have to make Magic fun. They should be making Magic fun, and we just buy it.
Right. Like a long time ago, like a few months back, I was saying, they somehow Wizards flipped their mindset from intriguing us to play the game and investing in the players to play the game, to want to play the game in the stores and everything, to where they just expect us to buy their product. That's what we do. They make it, we buy it, and their mindset's all wrong for it.
I'm actually going to argue with you, Coach, and I hate to say this, but just using critical thinking class, I don't know how you make that assessment. How do you know what the majority of people do with their money and how responsible they are with it? There's no numbers that show that. That's just an opinion or just assumption. I don't know how
the numbers from 7-Eleven as to how many scratch-off tickets they sell each year.
But, I mean, and I'm not trying to bash you, Coach. I'm just saying that I think that's sort of dangerous to say that because it's stated almost like a fact, but we have no idea what the majority of people do with Magic or how they interact. I don't. I have a very limited pool of friends that I know, and I can tell you the majority of the people that I know that interact with Magic on a personal level, they're kind of not at the moment. They pumped the brakes, pulled back. And that's a very small sample size of, I don't even know 1 million people, and that would be 1/40th of the audience. So to say what the majority of people out there are doing, I don't know that we can make that claim.
Right, but like I'm gonna kind of revert from the collectors investors side of things because I collect a little more than I invest because that's not my mindset. But one thing that you were touching on that I love so much, and I think it should be a calling of YouTubers, is telling through their social medias, WotC and Hasbro, that we need the game to be a game again. We need the game to be interesting. We need, everything we said tonight. Because I mean, not to shill you out, Game Bob, but you shouldn't really ever had to create commander raids.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I tried. Understand, when I went to Magic 30, I bought that Black Lotus pass with behind the scenes, talking directly to Mark Rosewater and Aaron Forsyth and all those people behind the scenes. That is 100% what I was telling them when I was there. I was like, hey, your what the hell was Boss Monster was their format. I'm like, you need to develop this. There are far more casual people. Like, I just beat this drum to death when I was at Magic 30. Instead of talking about other things that were interesting, I kept trying to push it to them. And here we are a year later and nothing, over a year later. Matter of fact, I'm kind of pissed off because where I really sparked the idea was from Flesh and Blood when they announced that they were going to do PvE. And it didn't really even dawn on me. I'm like, holy shit, that's the right way to go. And so I tried to push Magic. I'm like, hey, you guys need to create this. Like ad nauseum when I was there. And
your name about to be MTG Soapbox, Bob.
I would love some PvE stuff because me and my co-host
connect with Bob here, Corey. It's super fun. The more people that push it, because they're not. Bob's not in it for the money. He gives it away. Like, he's not. He just a different way to play. It's super fun. So do connect with Bob later.
Over here for the love of the game, MTG Gaming Bob and Cardboard Conversations had Mr. Llama SC as a guest recently on their channel, and that was.
And we had regular Schmuck this past Saturday.
Awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. Go Bob. Whoop, whoop.
But I mean, because we're not all one-dimensional. Hopefully, you guys have multiple hobbies, and I'm leaning more into video games because it's quite frankly in this era it's just far cheaper for a hobby.
I hope that as a collective, Bob, we can go hard in the paint for the new season popping up. That would be awesome because we'll all be at the same level. That'd be fun.
I have some ideas already with Richie Dubs, and just what we're planning on doing would require a pretty heavy investment of time. But anyways, I don't want to get into that. We'll be doing some D2R stuff. We're going to be doing more things. There's other things coming up. There's Grim Dawn's coming out. That's another ARPG. A lot of ARPGs. You have Last Epoch coming out. You've got pretty soon Path of Exile 2 coming out. You got a major change for Diablo 4. It's a pretty big year for ARPGs, and we're probably going to lean into that quite a bit.
I see.
And they're adjacent to Magic, swords and sorcery and stuff. So they're
for sure. Well, I mean, I know Core and I and TCG are kind of excited to. We brought him some new players, and hopefully Hillbilly, and we'll get up to par. And then when the new season drops, we'll pick
I'm sure
choose
and
do a great.
To some extent.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But kind of excited for it.
And where I see those games similar to Magic is I honestly think that running around killing bosses is a lot like opening packs. You're like, what did it drop?
Yeah,
was it
it is loot drop. Yeah.
But
Hey, Superbacker.
Understand, I'm not trying to bash Magic. I love Magic as a game. Do I think there's a bunch of shady shit that Chris Cox and Cynthia Williams are doing? And honestly, I mean, I don't know if it's as shady as they're in charge of a boat with a bunch of holes in it, right?
Yeah.
I think they're bailing and plugging as fast as they can. And the unfortunate, I don't know how you put it, the thing that's suffering the most, in my opinion, is the long-term health of Magic. I think that's the casualty of a failing company, right? That unfortunately, they're not leaving Magic alone, because I think their company's been failing for a while, and it was failing pre-COVID, right? And it's, I think this is, cause and effect. That the cause was Hasbro starting to fail with sales, because honestly, when you think about it, physical toys, if you think about younger kids nowadays, what do you see them? But like, here you go, 6 people here, and what do you see young kids in with their? What do you see in the hands of young kids nowadays?
Roblox, cell phones.
What's that?
Cell phones.
Cell phones.
Yeah, Roblox.
Right? Okay.
Fortnite, Roblox, cell phones. You got it.
And so where does that leave the traditional toys, that the G.I. Joes, the things that we loved as a kid, the Transformers,
in the old guy collections?
That's in kids' hands nowadays. And I think that Hasbro has not turned that corner, right? Even Legos, like when we were kids, buying the next Lego set of a thing wasn't $150 in relative terms. They've kind of screwed that over. It's now become a collectible or whatever. And it's like, I as an adult look at it going, nope, that's too expensive. And you just don't see kids with the physical toys as much anymore. And so it's no doubt why Hasbro's physical toy section is failing hard. Additionally, the second part of that is the Hasbro's name known for are board games. And if you're not board gamers, for those in the audience, there's a golden era of board games that's been happening for the last 10, 15 years, right? Where board games are far more intricate, complex, engaging, and fun than Monopoly, and these product lines that Hasbro has just stuck with.
Well, maybe Wizards will make a Monopoly game out of cards.
But
you know what's funny though, Bob, about what you were saying about kids and the price of the toys? A couple of weeks ago, I was at Walmart, and every time I'm at Walmart, I check the toy department for Transformers. This father was there with his maybe 8-year-old kid, and the kid's like, I want that toy. And the father's like, no way, that's a $40 toy.
All I'm going to say, Coach, to respond to that is I don't know. What I'm going to say is I'm not going to make that statement that most people do anything. I don't know what most people do. That's why you hear me phrase things as people I know, the things that I see, the LGSs I know.
Are you assuming my doing?
What I'm saying is about Hasbro, there's clearly some problem with them being able to spot and pivot to the current environment, right? They go back to the well, right? When's the last time any of you really played Monopoly? And board gamers, the ones that are buying new board games, they're not buying Monopoly.
No.
They're buying Clank. They're buying Pandemic. They're buying Carcassonne. They're buying Catan. They're buying...
Don't ask me that question, all right? We've played enough Monopoly, and we own enough versions of Monopoly right now. We just played the Turtles Monopoly.
Okay. And how much... I'm going to ask you this. How much have you spent in total on Monopoly?
Like
give me a rough number.
I'm assuming about $20 a piece.
Okay, what
Except
total?
one was $40 because it was
okay, total. Give me a total.
So 20, 40, 60, 80, about 140.
Okay, $140. How much have you spent on Magic over the years?
Less than 200.
That's a crazy ratio to Magic to Monopoly, almost equivalent.
So you've only spent $200 in your life on Magic.
No, you said in the last 2 years.
No. I'm saying in total. I didn't say 2 years. In total.
Oh, missed that.
Oh, in total, dude, that's uncountable at the moment.
Do you understand my point from a company perspective selling you products?
Mm-hmm.
You buy $140. Let's even say you bought $200 worth of Monopoly over your life. But you probably bought more than 50 times that in Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
The DLC
So
that
for-
never
put that-
stops producing.
Well,
To
well,
put
think
that in
about this.
perspective of what Hasbro's doing. If that's you, think about that and multiply that by many factors. That the Hasbro Monopoly games and whatnot, they're just not. I understand they have Monopoly Go and they've got the casino royalties and different things for Monopoly because of the IP.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying, as far as board games go, they haven't evolved.
Yeah, well,
They're Hasbro. How many Hasbro products do you even see at an LGS as far as board games? You'd be
Right,
lucky
well-
to find a Monopoly.
well, I think we should look at it backwards this time. Like, why did we get into some of the hobbies we did when we were younger, right? Like, I started I don't have the collection anymore, but I started collecting Hot Wheels cars because they were 75 cents a pop, easy to pick up. You get to spend time looking for the perfect kind of car you want to add to your collection. You did it. Now you look for a Hot Wheels car, it's almost $2 a pop. You don't want to spend that money on there. So I think not only is the kid collector dying in this situation, the adults are being pushed away from the collections, and the whales are the ones who are, I can't really say benefiting because they're hurting too, because if the younger people ain't buying all this shit, if they're not buying all this shit, they're not going to produce it if they're not moving mass amount of product.
So I have a question, Bob. And,
Sure.
Where you finished, Tortoise? Sorry, carry on if you.
That was my finish.
Oh, okay. So I had a question for you, Bob. Basically, I think Rudy's excited because they're actually acknowledging the problems in the past and are reducing print
But they're
runs.
not.
That's for toys too, but you don't think they are?
No, absolutely
Hmm.
not. I
Hmm,
think
okay.
everybody's trying to save their own jobs, and they have to admit because there's a discontinuity with numbers, and they don't want inconvenient questions. So they're admitting the minimum possible that they have to, just like most people do at work. Like, you fuck up at work, you don't tell your boss, you just kind of like gloss it over. Most people do that everywhere, right? When you have something on the line, when your livelihood is on the line, you really telling the full truth?
Yeah,
oh,
right.
Man, I messed that up because I was watching a funny cat video when I was doing this. Whoops. You know,
I was too busy on Twitter. I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, right.
I was late to work. I was rubbing one out to porn before I left this morning. People don't admit things fully.
I think, we digested a lot, so I think it's about time for a choral, and then I just want to get on over to the PSA about Fallout and Thunder Junction,
right.
and then
I'm gonna bounce stuff.
yeah,
It's getting late for Bob.
all
And I
right,
just
Bob.
wanna
Hey,
tell
thank you
everybody-
for
See you, Bob.
These are my opinions, folks. I am not a financial expert, and
Right.
I encourage every one of you to take a dispassionate look at the numbers that they provide. It's great that they have to put that out there, but do all of that with a little salt. If you run into a term you don't understand, Google that term. I didn't know non-GAAP. I didn't know goodwill before I started looking at WotC's numbers. Do it yourself, and then try to piece it all together. Like, there's a much bigger picture here than what people tell you. Don't just get the immediate, instant consumable version of things, even from me. I tell you to doubt. You know what I tell people I train all day long? And I'll tell it to all you viewers for what I tell you. I tell everybody that I train, I want you to listen to me while I'm training you, but I want you to constantly question it. Make whatever I tell you prove itself. Because I'm a programmer by nature. Because things change. And I want them to follow what I'm doing and what I'm teaching them, because I'm decent at it. The reason the bosses asked me to train them. But things change, or I could be wrong.
Yeah. Right.
And so make it prove itself. Don't listen to what I'm telling you about WotC. I'm telling you where to go look. I'm giving you my perspective of what I'm seeing. So go out there and look for the numbers yourselves, folks. Go look at the charts on TCG Player for a direction of how products are selling and what the direction of prices of cards. Go look at multiple websites. Educate yourself.
Yeah.
A fool and his money are soon parted.
Yes, sir. Hey, Bob. Pleasure as always. And I'm going to cue you out.
And Bob, remember, you
I know the
All right,
weirdest
guys,
clip.
peace.
Later, brother. Oh, hopefully Crypt comes back. All right, cool. He's kind of in the sidelines there. A pleasure, Bob. Yeah, I know it's all negative. The truth. You know how are you gonna sugarcoat though? I like to report truth and meme hard. That's what I do. So
Yep.
I hope y'all don't think it's always negative on here. Lately, it has been, but so is the news. So what can you do? But yeah, we're long overdue for a coral. I mean, come on, bruh.
Carl! 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 Carl!
And I know Duel laughed before, but we were talking some real. That's the business side of things. It sucks. You know, don't hate on Bob. He's always telling the truth, and the truth bombs aren't always fun to receive. So very interesting stuff, and thank you. Yeah. What was that?
That was TCG Truth Bomb.
And here's for Dual Brain. I missed you leaving, but here you go. Oh, old.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, I know. There you go, Carl. Yes, I know. I wish I could play that one, dude. Yes. So the PSA, I was trying to get there. Yeah, just call me Big Carl Papa. All right. So PSA on Fallout. They are short printing. I was trying to ask Bob about it, and well, we didn't get there. But if you look on anyone, just look on Amazon, look on TCG Player, look on everywhere, because they are short supplying all the stores, even WPNs. So you order like 200, you're getting like maybe 4 boxes, maybe a case of 6, and that's it.
Wow.
So yeah, so basically, most boxes are going for like 300 plus now. So that's awesome. Yay. If you have pre-orders out there and you spent a little under 200 or right around 250, I do agree with Rudy. You know, hopefully you have it out in multiple stores for your pre-release, but we're going to definitely see a lot of pre-orders canceled, and maybe the product offered at a higher rate than it is currently. Hopefully your store's not like this. Maybe the store will just cancel it. You know, I don't envy stores when you have 12 orders and all you got was a case of 6. I don't envy you guys at all, because that is a very tough decision. What do you do? You're playing the lottery there just to get the product. But again, I'm no financial nothing. I'm just saying, PSA, guys. It's if you think you're going to get your pre-order, you might. I don't know. But if you order it in massive quantities, you might only get lucky with one, as they're trying to figure out how best to distribute their shortchanged product. So there's that. Anything on that, guys? Or what might happen?
They're screwing up big time doing that. Short print.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you want to have people. You want to have people that has ordered, and then they paid for it and they don't get it back, or the money back or anything, because you know they may pay with a credit card or something like that. So they don't get their money back, and they don't get the product. They don't get what they're paid for. That's going to make a lot of people turn away from Magic and make a move on to something else.
Oh, no. The store's going to give them their money back. So there are some, take the money and run scenarios. And, we've seen that before. I'm not saying every store is going to do this. As Coach says, order from a trusted seller and don't worry about it. Yeah. So worst case, they might just refund you, but it still sucks because you want the product. So.
Yeah, I'm talking about if they ordered it online, though.
Oh, yeah. They ordered online? Uh-huh.
It's going to be harder for them to get their money back.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because the 30-day or 60, 90-day.
Exactly.
Well, you could do it. Yeah. Basically.
That's money out, though. No product. And you're having to wait that long just to get your money back.
That's some BS.
That's going to be infuriating to a bunch of people.
Well, it's going to happen. I don't know to what degree, or they'll probably say, oh, well, first wave's done, you'll be on second wave kind of situation. I don't know. Yeah.
I was gonna say, even then, with them doing this, that's gonna kill even more of the consumer confidence.
Yeah.
And just what we've been seeing, it's also going to just hurt the community.
Exactly.
Right. Now, granted, the commander decks should be widely available, but the fancy smanchy versions, and I don't know if they're going to do serialized or what for this. I'm pretty sure they might. I don't know. We haven't seen the cards yet, so a lot of people are holding off on pre-orders. I think I had it up on my Discord a while back that we can order them, but no interest until we get the previews, which I get. But yeah, I just worry about that. You see a lot of people freaking out. I just watched the other day. Was it Kitchen Table TCG? Not just using him as an example. He ordered 200. He got a case of 6. So that is going to happen a lot. So I don't know what the deal is. If you guys have any insights on that, let me know. But, Rudy says that's too extreme, but, he always says he wants them to cut the print runs. So, and maybe they did that on this. Did they think it wasn't going to be as popular as sorry, brain work. Well, no, not Lord of the Rings. No, I don't think they'll be able to top that. So I think it's lesser than Lord of the Rings, but did they think it was lesser than even Doctor Who? I mean, most of us, not most of us, but some of us that weren't into Doctor Who were like, I'm okay. It's a pass. But they did supposedly shorten the collector run. I don't know. Maybe based off of that and pre-order sales, they just cut the run. I don't know. What do you guys think or know about it? Anything, Corey?
I don't know anything about what they're doing with it. From what I see and what I understand and what I think is, like, with the Fallout and the Doctor Who, they had great success with Lord of the Rings, and they're doing all of this to try and bring new players in, people that normally aren't playing Magic, and they're like, oh, hey, I love Doctor Who. Let me jump in on this, and then sadly it sucks, and they're like, okay, never mind. And I think they're going to do the same with Assassin's Creed. They want to get the video game players of the Assassin's Creed and try and get more players out of it, or at least at that point sell the cards.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Hey, Justin, long time brother, says you don't think the IP is big enough? Okay. So I don't know. They're short printing. Like, people actually had interest in, had placed their orders, gosh, almost a year ago, as soon as they announced it. So I don't know, especially those long ones. I mean, hopefully they have some form of priority at their LGS as far as who gets what, if they are shorthanded, or not shorthanded, but short supplied, I guess. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I just worry about you guys, and if I find out something, or even if it's a lame ass rumor, I'll put it out there just to, like, hey, PSA guys, there's going to be some cancellations, and a lot of people are going to be butthurt. And again, doesn't really help with the confidence at WotC or Hasbro for that matter. So that's a PSA. The other one is that the Thunder Junction is open order. So if you order 200 boxes, you're getting 200 boxes. So if you guys are value heads, it depends on how they make it. Maybe the game pieces are awesome. It'd have to be super broken. People want it. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know much about Thunder Junction yet. But you'll get what you order. So a lot of people are freaked out about that.
About being able to get everything you order?
Yeah. Because it's a balance game. You order 200, they send you a case, or maybe 2 if you're WPN, And if you throw out there, 200 because maybe I'll get half. No, you're getting all of it. I believe some people have said, no, don't quote me because I don't know. I wasn't collecting at that point in time. But the same thing happened with was it Fallen Empires? So why the value's like shapoopy? Is this correct?
I just wish they would. I just hope.
Okay.
They need to. They need to figure out what they need to figure out what they need to do, and just do it and quit. Don't short people out of what
they
order. I mean,
Okay, so let's spin it this way. Maybe an open order is a form of community vote, and Wizards is feeling the water and like gauging the temperature for demand with the Cowboy set.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to see some cards to really, I don't know, feel it out. But I was just wondering if anyone, was around for those times. If that's, that I think that's what I heard happened with Fallen Empires. I don't know.
I just miss the days when Wizards of the Coast used to kiss our butts with cool promos and cool things like from the vaults, for playing the game, rewarding us more like that. And I miss that. And I know that's kind of a late comment for where we are now. Yeah. But like what I wanted to touch upon is back in the day when Tortoise was a young lad, catch the cradle and all that jazz.
Right.
Wizards used to go heavy on their promotion, and they'd heavily promote in the stores. They'd heavily promote with like cool products. They'd heavily promote a lot of good things. Like there was a lot of things that they used to do to show us that they really cared about the product, the player base with their product. Where nowadays, it feels like to me by watching the market that they show that the product shows how much the players appreciate them, and I think that's the backwards way of thinking because they used to kiss our butts a lot. They used to do lots. I remember a story of mine where me and my buddy hustled our way around just to get a ride like 12 miles down the road just to attend our local game store to see what the next set was coming, what it's going to be in, why it's so exciting.
Back when a cabbie took a pain land for a ride.
Right.
But like that set was Raziel Eldrazi that we went to see release. We went to see the reveal of. Back in the day, they did a lot. Like they promote differently, and they don't do that much anymore.
Yeah. Real quick, L. He said, could these licenses have limited print run in the contracts? That could be a thing. So there is that, but I don't know. I mean, you think they want to run with it and make some extra money, but it I don't know, man. I just know that's what the rumor mill is saying. That's what's happening to stores, and yeah, bro.
You could think about it in the context of a musician that sells albums, right? And musicians sign contracts with music labels, and so they're supposed to make 2 albums, 3 albums per their contract, right? Mm-hmm. So it could be the same thing with sets or IP crossover.
Right. Can you highlight James' comment there? The second to the bottom says the FTZ is similar products. Yeah, that one. The From the Vault and similar products have evolved in Secret Layers. You know what the difference between those two, the From the Vault and Secret Layers are? Is you were able to get From the Vault from your local game store only.
Yep.
For Secret Layers, no.
Right.
The evolution's there.
Maybe James is just more touching on the evolution of product and how Magic started as draft boosters only. There wasn't player decks, there wasn't tournament decks until there was a tournament, right?
Right.
Gold bordered cards weren't a thing until those events took place. So evolution of product.
It is an evolution. The evolution, I just believe, takes away from the experience. The growth chamber for Magic the Gathering was and should still be the local game store. Now, I cannot delve in too deep into the topic because that's a whole rabbit hole by itself. Because there was like salty stores people didn't like, shady things they go online about. But the local game store was a breeding ground for newer players and new introductory for people in the products. And more personable too.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love playing a spell table. But
back in the days, the only thing that kept you away from game stores was elitist.
Right. Right.
Now you're competing with elitists and Amazon, and everyone's mad because the LGS is at 150, but you can find the boxes somewhere falling off a truck for 100.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, man, I feel for LGSs. We've lost so many, because of all this stuff.
Right.
So the one thing I also want to touch on before we get to the shill section, which is everyone's favorite, is the Beyond boosters. Now, we roughly talked about it, but they're doing this for Assassin's Creed. I don't know why they would do that, but that is going to be it. So is there going to be a collectors of this too? And the guesstimation on price point, because this is epilogue of the epilogue, as they so called it in the last weekly MTG or MTG Weekly. I always get the name mixed up. But anyway, they were actually planning this for Thunder Junction as well. So now we have these special cards that were Aftermath are probably going to be going in that list slot. So they're going to cut it down to nothing, and basically the only way to get these would be in that random pull in your play boosters or, of course, the collectors. So that was another weird thing, because I did it, I guess, for the next few sets, thinking that, because they do this like 2, 3, 4 years in advance. They were planning this for the next few play boosters coming up for the next few sets. So that's interesting. This one is Modern Legal. I'm wondering if they're going to try to do this as well for MH3. It kind of doesn't make sense. There's, that's a mix of different stuff going on there. I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
So Epilogue Boosters was the standard legal version, and Beyond Boosters is going to be the premier product version.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you think that's the way it was? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Mana Crypt. What do you think of this? I know you play Modern, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, price point on these ones, we're probably gonna end up looking at like $7 a pack compared to, if you got a set booster for what?
Yeah, for $4 half of a Magic pack.
Yeah. And they're gonna be boosting it on this whole booster fun thing, and the fact that there's no commons in there, so.
Yeah, which makes the uncommons common, so that's a thing. So you have potential of getting 4 rares, though. Ooh.
It's going to be the goth emo phase that we all had in high school, bro. And then they're going to discard this whole product line, all right?
You'll find it in the dump.
Oh, that's funny, Els. That's another scam. Like, why do we have ads in our cards we're already buying for cards that we're already buying? It's like the ad card I hate the most is like you're ripping set packs and you're trying to get a listy, and then you get the token that says, "What is the list?" I'm like, oh, hey now, there you go.
Like that Fable of the Mirror token, bro.
Right.
It's worth more than a Tarmogoyf these days. Oh my god.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. I just kind of wanted to get the PSA out there on the Thunder Junction. Don't expect much value from that. They would have to have every single card in that set be broken for it to really move, I guess. I don't know. Just throwing it out there that might influence your purchasing decisions, whatever, what have you. I just wanted to share the news that I have. So there you go. Let's get to our favorite part of the show. We got the shill, baby. Let's go ahead and start off. I know you're super quick, so TCG, dude. Shill, baby.
Yo, man. I'm just over here on the internet, just doing the thing, playing Magic. Yeah, man. You can at me on Twitter. Or x.com, formerly Twitter, if you want to talk to me about Magic. Otherwise, just 1v1 me on Arena or Moto at TCG, dude.
All right, bet. All right. MTG Hillbilly. And man, I'm sorry, Corey, can you type something in the chat so I can get you a wrench so you can post your link for both Twitter and a separate post your YouTube. Carry on, Hillbilly.
I'm trying to get to 400 subs. I'm at 367 right now. And once I get to 400 subs, I plan on doing a giveaway.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm getting closer to that. And also, round 22 and 3, I tried to start a commander game on Spell Table. If anybody's ever interested in playing, let me know. Let me know through the Discord.
Yeah.
It's really all I have to show.
All right, beautiful. All right, Shieldmaster 0. Here we go. Tortoise.
Holy cow! You know I got a long shield today, right?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right. So,
sorry, Corey. Type something in the live chat on YouTube.
All right.
Go
So,
ahead.
Does that work?
First, I want to share this. There we go. Present screen. Share screen. Window. Boom. Share. Bloop, bloop. There you go. So, fundraiser.
Hey, Posy Brown.
Yeah, fundraiser auction for Magic the Gathering cards. I like how the mouse shown twice. Well, on my screen. February 21st at 3:30 p.m. on my channel, which link is in the chat. Using PayPal and Discord. There will be some hot cards for grab. Like, there will be the Shieldred. There will be this Urza Saga. There's Little Nimble Monkey. This Lotus Petal. That's percent on Chromox and much more. And wait. That's not all. You can. I can remove that. But wait, can you blow me up?
Yep.
All right. So settings, camera, UVC. Boom. Oh yeah. So I'm trying to earn money to get more playmats like this one and sleeves. We're gonna be having some cool giveaways. Like everything in this pack is a giveaway for a goal reached. There's gonna be cool little things like all 10 for the pathways, full art, everything. In this packet alone, right here, is all 5 of the Modern Horizons 2 fetch lands that will be in for auction. Some of the cards that we mentioned, a Final Fortune. I know I'm backwards. Some cool things that we're going to be shilling, and the coolest thing, and there's going to be more cards. The coolest thing is if we reach $500 for our goal, we're going to be giving away. And I seeded this in your brain earlier. This from the vault, Magic Gathering Angels. It opens up.
Ooh, I know Paz is excited.
Yeah. So if we meet our $500 goal, this will be given away. All the giveaways will be centered towards the people in the auction. Yeah. Man.
That's dope.
That's
Yeah,
so
nice
cool.
stack of cardboard, homie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manicrit. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, say something on the chat on YouTube.
Yeah. And so
I'm getting to the chat on YouTube.
all right.
All right, beautiful.
So that's my big shills. I want to shill that giveaway.
Hell yeah.
Any restrictions if you see US only, like people in the US? I want to say, the shipping will be paid for on my end from the winnings or not winnings from the payment of the auction. Like shipping will cover on my end. You don't have to worry about paying for shipping there. And we're trying to get more playmats like the one I showed you, all right? And we're going to get more sleeves. Well, those that's for giveaways. The people in the auction will be first to be entered to win the couple of the playmats as a giveaway. Hillbilly will be there helping out. God bless his soul. He's been amazing. And and it's for a good cause. It's to get stuff to give away to you guys.
Always glad to help, Tortoise.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no, I love this community in that regard. By the way, this should drop because they're giving this away as the promo at Chicago. So if you're going, you might end up with one of these. Not a huge fan of the art. I mean, it's all right, but it's kind of weird. I don't know, man. Yeah. But thanks to Cinder Shadow for shooting that over to me because I forgot about it. Thank you, buddy. But there you go. All right, so couple things to show. We are still trying to fill the. We got a couple battles and we're almost there, so I'm pretty stoked. We got 3 seats left in a mythic battle for Guilds of Ravnica. Basically, getting 2 packs. You're gonna battle the CMC. And whatever your CMC lands, you'll get your pick of Planeswalker pack. They're all labeled, but more information on that in the Discord. Or if you're not in the Discord, shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to cut and paste and show you what we got going on. We also have a cheap Val going on, 24. You're getting 2 packs to win. 1 more pack if you win on the CMC on the high or the low. Those that aren't in it, there's 2 toppers that will go to the person to one of the 3 that didn't get high or low. There's 3 seats left there. There's 3 seats left in Midnight Hunt. And that, again, battle your CMC for high and low to win an additional pack. So relatively cheap to get yourself some collector, maybe some collector bling. But, just trying to get some content going for the upcoming either midweek or weekend, depending on when we close it out. I also have this mysterious box here coming from Twiddler. Probably in about a couple hours after I find something to eat, I will be posting up another live. We'll be cracking this, and in here, whoa, blurry vision. Hello. Okay, I did not like the box. What the hell? There it goes. I'll get that box out of my face. Anyways, we're cracking this. I did super awesome on his stream. I pulled a some really high end juice. We're also going to be cracking the. I bought a gift edition Lucy bundle, so I'll be having some decent giveaways from that. So if you are still up later, come hang out. It should be fun. So good times. And then of course we got late night EDH on Sundays. Super late. The name's not a clever moniker. Okay, it is super late, but we always look for players for that on Sunday, and then. We're also do late night D2R, which should pick up because a lot of people are going to be starting from scratch. I'm not sure the date, but I'll let you guys know. Cool. Oh, and yeah, you guys were wondering. I have to find out where the hell the PT went off to, but I will have a night stream coming up probably next week, and we're going to try to beat PT. If you ever knew about it, was a it's a little creepy tale where you're stuck in a hallway and it gets crazy. As you start figuring stuff out, things get more crazy. Thanks to Core for getting me hooked up with that. We'll do that very soon. So thank you guys for watching. Was there anything else you guys wanted to gab about? TCG dude. Okay. I guess
we wanted to talk about the luscious, beautiful hair on DJ's head.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Look at it. It looks so perfect. What's your secret for growing a full strong of hair?
Time and trimming your split ends. I know I should be using better stuff. That way when I come on, it's like soul glow going on. That'd be dope.
Right.
Conditioner like drooping down. No, okay.
I tried growing my hair out. This is what happened.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know.
You must have done something.
It's receding, but it's taking its time. Thank God.
I'm still working on mine.
Oh yeah, you got that Kurt going. Look going. That's awesome.
Hillbilly looking like a Muppet.
That's great.
Like always.
Right. So and Mana Crypt. Hold on. We didn't get Mana Crypt show. So by all means, tell us about your channel and put those links in on YouTube. You now wrench, sir. So go ahead and put your links in there for Twitter, excuse me, Twitch and YouTube. Carry on, sir.
I'll throw them in there. And we're just a couple of dudes. We just sit around, talk, complain, bitch about Magic. Anything that we can come up with, and just our own personal views. We try to cover a little bit of what the meta is going with right now, and we're getting some gameplay finally out there. So check us out at the Mana Crypt at YouTube. Like I said, I'll throw my link in the chat there.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And go ahead and put your Twitch. We'll try to help you out best we can. Hopefully we'll see Corey and Scotland on a little bit more often. If you guys are down to hang out on Thursdays, let me know.
Oh, absolutely.
We do this every Thursday. Yeah, I know. Everyone's still like, "Oh my god, I was so negative earlier." But dude, that's what's going on, guys. I don't know, we still have fun with the cards though. So, we have collectors are part of the equilibrium, and we have players that are part of the equilibrium. You start losing one or the other, we're seeing what's happening. So it sucks. But who cares? Go complain with Corey and Scotland on Manic Crypt. Hopefully, get off my lawn maybe a little bit or not. I don't know. Join me on the lawn. Let's party. Let's go.
Woo-woo.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, thanks for coming on, and this is your first go, so hopefully you'll be back, buddy.
Absolutely.
And yeah. Oh my god, you say that pause. I don't even want to post it, but you say that pause, and I'm reminded back. It's good for the skin. From freaking from oh man, what was it? Cheech and Chong. Yeah. All right, we're gonna step up into the danger meeting. Speaking of danger meeting, if anyone's down in the Discord, probably after the Twiddler stream, we'll be having our little private party sesh. So if you guys are down, just let me know. It's not going to be public. It's just us hanging out, swapping music and BSing. So if you guys are down for that and Haloing, let me know. All right, guys, you guys rock. And I will see you guys probably during Twitch stream and later that evening. But tonight for sure, probably in a couple hours, get some food to me, and we're going to crack this bad boy. Hell yeah. Deuces. Bye.
Boy.